police officers like straight up fucking killed a 1-year-old over some diapers, which I think is so crazy. And there are a lot of people trying to like go, yeah, like, but I'm frustrated, I think, because you think about a 1-year-old's life as being equal to diapers. You think about that little black boy who died because he was fucking suspected, but he hadn't actually like taken water bottles. It frustrates me so much. I'm like always angry. I'm always angry. There's a level of anger that I'm just constantly at, and I can't. And there's no way to get down from that because it's just gonna happen. I'm gonna see in a week another news story exactly like this, and there will be no outcome. There will be no positive outcome. There will be no repentance. The cop doesn't feel fucking bad. I bet you money he doesn't.
Yeah.
And so it's like I'm just always angry. I'm so angry all the time. And I don't know how to sparse that with trying to just go through life and being like, okay, like a 1-year-old's life's gone, right? 1-year-old's dead. I'm 20. I guess I've got work in the morning. How do you, like, oh my God,
It's a difficultness, but you're right. It does offend me personally when people act like this is revolutionary information. When Trayvon Martin died and he was murdered, George Zimmerman went out and signed bags of Skittles and sold them. This shit is not. None of this shit is unprecedented. It's not coming out of plumb nowhere. And to act like it's new and exciting news every time, and then to do nothing about it every time, is getting very old. The playbook is old. And I was talking to my partner about this because you get confronted with this reality like often and always in my job. And me and my partner were talking about this, and it's like it's not just when you're white, these things you can see, and even when you're like an ally to this problem, and even when you're a non like confrontingly racist white person, you can still think of this shit and then go on about your business. When Trayvon Martin got shot, my brother was a teenager, and I remember it being like vehemently terrifying for him to leave the house of his
do you
own
remember
accord.
Laquan McDonald's fucking trial? We were doing a paper on it in class, and unironically, one of the boys in my class got stopped by the cops and he came in the classroom crying. We were in middle school.
Yeah.
And he's like sobbing and he can't like go back to work. And there's this constant pressure, right? There's this constant understanding that this is hanging over you when you're black, and you kind of just have to go about your day. And I
Yeah.
like all love to like the allies, but there's something so frustrating about people acting like this isn't the fucking heart and soul of America and always has
Yeah.
been. Everyone's like, this isn't what we're
Mhm.
supposed to be. This isn't how I thought America would be as a child. And it's like, hey brother, while Obama was chanting change, niggas was still dying in the streets. I know that this is like your first time having to like face this, but to a degree it's frustrating to pretend like this isn't what America is, baby. The
Yeah.
first act of being in America was like chattel slavery. The first system they wanted to set up was like mass genocide of an entire group of people. You think this isn't the heart and soul of America? Baby, this is our heart and soul. It's a rotten, disgusting piece of shit.
For me, I don't know. It's annoying. I was talking to my partner about this too. It's like there's no such thing as a good cop. Because in order to agree to be a cop, you have to agree to the system of how law and order is founded in America, which is to agree to racism, because it never began just because of law and order. The only reason we have cops to this day is because we had slave catchers, we had slave watchers. That's the cold, hard, and honest truth. So the system is never going to change as it currently is until we make a whole new one. So to join force and to be a cop in this day and age is a show and act of racism. No matter if you're like, I want to join and I want to change the system, either you're like really delusional and you don't know how like any of this works, or you're just complicit in bullshit. There's like nothing, there's no other way you can spin it, to be honest.
Because
There's just nothing
you
else.
see how whistleblowers are treated. That's the good cops.
Yeah.
The good cops are the fucking whistleblowers who point out when the other cops are fucked. And the other cops treat them like they're animals, subhumans. They have to like run away from the job. They have to like go with their tails between their legs and hope that their partner doesn't shoot them on fucking shift. That's what the good cop happens to the good cops. So quite frankly, if that's not happening to you, I doubt you're a good cop. I doubt it wholeheartedly. You see that they fucking all those cops that showed up to that lady's house after who was celebrating the Knicks game, the LAPD shot her dog. There's one thing to be the nigga that shoots the dog. There's 50 other things to be the pussy ass bitches standing around the nigga that shot the dog. There's one thing to shoot a baby and kill a baby. There's another thing to be the bitch asses who disperse the group of people actively protesting you shooting a baby. You are a bitch. You are not a good cop. There's no good cop spraying people mourning a child's loss. There's no good cop standing next to the fucker who shoots an innocent animal. You are a bad person.
You began bad, and it sucks to say. I don't think you're going to ever be good. And here's how I know this, because it's crazy what you can access on TikTok. But there was a body cam footage of this guy. I think it was domestic violence thing. He was holding a baby in order to shield himself because he had a gun, and he was pointing it at the police, and he was going to kill one of his kids. And the cop, in an attempt to detain him, shot the baby and killed the baby. This cop never recovered. The entire you're watching his body cam footage, and he is you can tell he's never going to come back from us. And that's how one should respond to shooting a baby. And that's you shooting a baby by accident without malice involved. This is how one should respond. You should be no longer able to do your job. You should be inconsolable. That's how you should be. And then kill a baby.
And then to shoot
be out
for a suspected diaper stolen to shoot someone.
The crimes don't equal the punishment. And mine if he steals a water bottle, even if he didn't steal a water bottle to begin with, but even if he did, and mine if he steals a water bottle, and then I find out that the store owner shoots him in his back, I'm not letting him get to trial. Because you shouldn't even get to live the rest of your days. You're a bad person. And you think in extremes. So if we're going to think in extremes, in my opinion, you should be dead.
And but you have to understand that's the American fucking mentality. Humans are equal to property. There are people unironically thinking that the consequence of stealing diapers, even though this woman says she didn't steal diapers, she says that she has a receipt.
Yeah.
So even she didn't steal the diapers. But you're thinking that the consequence of stealing diapers, even if she had stolen diapers, was a dead baby, was a kill a 1-year-old. And that actually connecting in your brain. You are cattle. You are animals. There is no way. If somebody fucking steals my TV right now and someone shot them for it, I would think you're a fucking psycho. You took a human life? And I bet you my TV costs more than a bag of diapers.
And you know what's crazy? Stores have write-offs. Because people steal things. They have
how many people steal shit from a Walmart?
Millions of dollars they get in order to shield the fact that people steal from them. So if a lady steals a pack of diapers, and even if she didn't, even if she has the receipt, even if she did, that's a fucking pack of diapers comparable to the loss of an entire person.
A baby.
A baby.
And it's kids shoplift all the time. Fucking, the kids in my class used to shoplift at Dave & Buster's. Should the nigga behind the counter have taken a gun out and shot them in the head? That's the American mentality, though. If you do something wrong, the response is always you have the ability to be killed. The consequence is if you upset property, if you take away something from a big corporation, you should always have the possibility of understanding you will be killed. Even if that's fucking insane.
That's ludicrous.
There's no property equal to a human life.
It's like when George Floyd died, people were like, he had a counterfeit bill. Yeah, and?
Is a human life worth $20?
You have a fake ID, bitch. Should we go out and fucking publicly hang you? You're committing a felony.
You know how many...
you're gonna step it. I'm like, how was any of this exchangeable? How was that a good? Then being the kid Cypress with the water bottle. So he had a gun on him, and he didn't pull it. And even if he had, that doesn't justify you shooting him in his back as he's running away.
Especially if you're running away from nigga. I would have pulled a gun on you too. You've got one on me. You fucking psycho. Here's my frustration. Everybody's willing to stand outside of that bitch and be angry. Everybody's willing to stand outside the Walmart and yell at it. Everybody's willing to stand outside that gas station and yell at it. Why the fuck is that shit still standing? All love, but let's be honest here, bro. I think we have to admit eventually as a race, we're well past the point we're well past the point. I think everyone has to admit that. I think we're all hoping someone, but here's the thing though. We're saying it. Are either of us going to do it?
No.
That's the thing, though. We're all past the limit. We all are saying who's gonna do it, and it's like, well, I'm not about to burn down a Walmart.
And that's the problem. The solution to the problem means that you have to just give up the life you dreamt for yourself.
Yeah.
That's the inherent problem with being a person of color. I see Tim talk about this, is that there's nothing you can do. There's nothing, once you're black, you begin an activist. You're born into this world, and you being born is a state of activism. And every day you live after that, if you having to do shit to go against the system, no matter what happens to you, no matter if you die, no matter if you lose everything you've ever dreamt for, you want to go to Harvard? Well, it's too bad, because people are shooting black boys in the back for water bottles. So you have to
You have to
lay
go to
down
the
and go to jail.
protests. You got to go
You
fucking
have to go to the protest.
take the
You
misdemeanor
have to
charge for
burn down.
rioting.
Yeah, you have to burn down. You have to get the charge for arson. You have to be sent to jail for the rest of your life if you want the change to happen.
If you
It's
want
like,
something to
there's no-
actually fucking happen. And then you look at the fucking Black Lives Matter protests, and even when you do that, even when you burn down the fucking police station, you know what happened? Police stations got more money. Every single Republican wants to convince you that we defunded police. No, the fuck we didn't. They doubled down. Police budgets went up. Police budgets went up. So even when you're willing to say fuck it, okay? We had white people out there rioting. We had white people. What does it matter? What does it matter? And I think that that's, in a degree, if you look back on the Black Lives Matter protests, I think that's why a lot of people feel very ambivalent to society. I think if you think about all of the kids, and they were cringe as hell, right? Mm-hmm. You had those stupid ass TikToks. We go to the Capitol and we burn it all down. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But if you think about it, you see all the people your age. You go out there. You fight. You protest. And what's the outcome? They just say, fuck you. They go down harder. Yeah. You watch people get shot in the face, point blank, with like tear gas cannons and rubber bullets. Somebody lost a fucking eye. What? And then nothing happens. And so you say to yourself, okay, well, what do I do? You know, what do I do? And you learn that lesson at like 16 or 15.
Yeah.
When were we in
harsh reality?
Yeah.
It's harsh reality.
And then you learn that lesson, and I guess you just go, well, I can't do anything. I can't fucking do anything. Nothing I do matters. So I guess I just go to work. I just wake up, I go to work, I go to school. There's nothing I can do.
It's, for me, it's just, I've been a part of actually for a long time in my community. My mom, her mom before her, all my sisters and brothers, we've all been in charity organizations for our community, for disenfranchised community, since I was 5. And every year, the same amount of people are coming to the cooked rice. More. Same amount of people are coming for Thanksgiving turkeys. It's not going down. Nothing. We're not winning. No, we're not getting more money. We're not getting more housing. We're not getting more shelter. The same amount of women or more come every year for the women's giveaways. Nothing, and they're all Black. Nothing is getting better. No matter what. It seems as though no matter what you do, no matter how much you try to go outside of yourself and teach and learn, it seems as though there is nothing that can be done. I have resigned myself to understanding the most I can do is talk to people. The most I can do is talk to people and attempt to get them to understand this life is not simple. Trying to explain to people how to navigate being a female paramedic, Black female paramedic that looks like me throughout the day. They refuse to understand. They don't believe what I tell them I have to go through just to live life. So
and you're light skinned.
I'm white. But me, 5'10", tattoos, piercings, locks, it's a difficulty for me to be in the door. People tell me that you act older than your age, and you're so well spoken. Yeah, because I have to be. If I walk through this bitch gallivanting, stupid like you, I lose my job. But you get to keep it.
You don't get the same chances.
Separate lives. And it appears that we're always going to be living these separate lives. It appears that will always be the way that it is.
And then both of us, we've seen the down, you know? You know, we've seen the down. We've seen what that, like, unironically, like, I've seen how quick that shit changes, man.
Yeah.
And it's like, it hangs over you when you've been there, when you've been like broke as hell, when you remember what that is, growing up like that, living in the houses you had to live in, remembering what you had to eat, and you think, fuck, I can't risk it. I can't go back there. I can't go back there. I can't. You know?
I won't make it.
I won't. And then you're like,
and it's just,
you live on the south side. Where you live on the south side, you live on the east, you live on the west. You see that shit. You see people at their lowest. You see people walking around like in the streets, and you're like, and if I can go lower, like where I was low, and then you can go lower. You risk it, you go lower.
And that's what's difficult for me. I've been having an interesting situation because working on different sides of the city, working on the north side is kind of different because they have all the same problems, but they have more resources. So you're in a different battle. But working on the east side of Chicago, I've said this before, and people always laugh, but I'm not joking. It is quite literally an entire sector of the city that everybody has forgotten about. There are no businesses. It's a food that every building you see is abandoned. The only reason that the houses look nice is because the people there take care of them. But broken apartments, no food, only liquor stores. It is gang territory. It's nothing.
But every single fucking alderman gives a fuck about teen takeovers. And there's whole sectors of the city starving.
And you go to this part of the city and you work. You work on the streets. You're a first responder, and you're looking around. It is terrifying. People with real illnesses, and they're gonna die, and they don't have a lick of money to help them through that process. They're dying a slow and painful death. So when you wander into the east side, you're like, oh, why is everybody addicted to drugs? Well, maybe you would also be addicted to drugs if your liver was literally rotting inside of your own body, and there was nothing.
And what the fuck can you do? And what the fuck can you do? And every single step of the way, niggas fight to try to make sure that people die. Because that's the whole point of the for-profit healthcare system. You want people to pay you for healthcare? Someone's got to die. Someone's got to die. Someone's got to walk around with their fucking liver rotting inside of them. Someone's got to slowly have to wean themselves off of their insulin. Someone's got to die.
Someone has to die. And it's like... watching it in real life, watching the shootings happen over there, I used to say I love working on the west side because you get a call for fast. People, from a job POV, for me to be able to make it home the next day and be able to live my life and keep doing my job, it's the perfect place to work. The calls are short. Why are the calls short? Because you're going to go through like 20 things of Narcan in one day. Everybody's addicted to drugs there. You will not make it through a day on the west side working on the streets, and
and what else? It's like, what else do you have?
What else do you have? I used to say, when I was a student, I used to love going over there. Why? Because at least per shift, you would get at least one shooting. You were clandestine to have at least one person get shot. One. And most of these shots fail. That's just all it is to do. And there's this black on black crime nonsense. White on white crime just the same. You go to the north side, it's a bunch of fucking white boy drug dealers selling shit laced with fentanyl and killing entire apartments full of people, and nobody is reporting it because it's all white bitches that's happening.
Nobody gives a fuck about what's the bad shit that happens on the north side. Nobody gives a fuck, but they'll keep giving them resources. They'll pour as much resources in the north side as they want. Every other side of the city, fuck them. Fuck them. The south side doesn't even have the red line going all the way through it still. Where I grew up, my nana used to take an hour bus just to get to the red line. The end of the red line.
It's like, so when I say it's system, and I love Chicago, and that's what people get confused. I love it here. I love living here. I love the neighborhood.
I fucking love Chicago. Here.
But you would be remiss if it wasn't a blatant act of racism, discrimination, and a failure.
And everybody's like, this is the best city ever. You're right. You really are. Where the money is, Chicago is an amazing, beautiful fucking city. Where the money isn't, niggas will make that shit beautiful.
Yeah.
Or they will get fucked.
They will get fucked. And you're planting splatter beds.
Yeah.
But the aldermen, they don't care.
They don't give a fuck.
The mayor, and I like Mayor Johnson. I think he's doing the best he can. He couldn't give less than a fuck about the east side.
Man,
you want to know that?
You gotta burn those aldermen to the ground, brother. Some of them gotta.
It's the poorest neighborhood in the city. I don't care what you can point to anywhere else. East side, I believe, takes the cake. And Rainbow Beach, they've made it so you have to pay to park there. Which
was insane.
Insane. The poorest neighborhood in Chicago, there are no resources there. The first time I think Taylor ever had been over there was because I lived over there. And the way she looked, she was like, she didn't know that places like this were real. It's like it's a problem, guys. It's a real
It's a
problem in a real
bad
way.
place. But then the cutoff point is so hard. You go from there, and then like 5 blocks down, you see niggas like dilly dallying, having the time of their life, rich as hell. And you're like, these resources can't be moved around. There's these hard cutoff points, brother. Hard cutoff points.
I was like, this is unbelievable.
The type of money
and terror you go through. The strife and terror you go through that the people over there are going through of no fault of their own. And you go one neighborhood over, and it's some of the richest people that live in the city of Chicago are there.
I had a safe alley. You go down alley down, you don't go into that fucking alley. You don't walk into that alley. I could cut through the alley behind my house to go from there. If you went an alley down, block down, you don't go into that fucking alley. You don't go there.
You don't go there.
You don't go there. Absolutely not. And then you think about it, it's like, it's so frustrating. It's so frustrating. And it's like, I don't know how to explain. Like, I don't know how to explain to you how little the city of Chicago gives a fuck.
They don't care. And it all comes back to the same idea. The way the fucking highways are built.
And the thing these niggas give a fuck about. To just run through them. And then they have the nerve to be confused as to why there's no money in these neighborhoods. When you've just railed through them. You refuse to put any resources.
It's not confusing.
And then to come in my face and tell me that the biggest issue is teen takeovers. To pretend when I'm saying what's happening in the neighborhoods these teens are coming from. What do you expect them to do?
Why would they be there? Why would they be there? Why would you want to sit around and party on fucking 83rd? Why would you want to be there on 79th?
Go ahead, sit out your house. Hope you don't get shot at. Hope you don't see the worst moments of someone's lives go out in front of you. And then these kids grow up fucked up. Nobody ever talks about the type of PTSD that comes from living in situations like that. You think those kids don't have some type of long-term trauma from that shit? You want to look me in the eye and say that that's not fucking kids up?
And what I'll say is, I've had some friends over the years pass away, mostly to gun violence. And it hurts and it's bad. But I've been kind of lucky in the sense that most of my friends that have died that way, I've kind of lost connection with over the years. I'm only talking to him every day. My nephew is 17 now, and I think he was 14 or 13 when this happened. He wears a big chain on his neck. One of his close friends that he was at the same party as got shot and killed, shot in the head and killed. And there are times where we're like talking about like something, like me and my siblings are all talking about something like good memories, and he'll like one day he had to like get up and walk out of the room and peer in the night sky because he was thinking about the fact that he'll never see his friend again. That's a 17-year-old boy.
At 15, at 14, at 15 and 14, these kids are permanently traumatized.
And there's nothing he's going to be able to do to be able to reconcile that, because it's not something that you should ever have to face or deal with when you're 14. 14 is already a wonderful time.
And again, it's like it's the dehumanization of Black children. Like I said in that one TikTok I made, where these aren't like people to some people. They don't see a human, but you see your like older brother die, or you have your cousins, you have people dying around you, people who you looked up to, people who you cared about. You're living in poverty. Maybe you don't have like the fucking resources. You're being humiliated regularly because of the way your outfit looks or the way you smell or something like that, but you can't get water to your house. You think about how that fucks up a kid. You think about how that changes someone's life. And then it's just like, it's nothing. It's like nothing. It's never brought into the conversation how that will permanently destroy your mental health. How that changes the chemistry of your brain. It's like statistically proven it does.
Okay. It changes what you think is okay. And sometimes people ask me how I'm still okay with the stuff that happens out here. A friend of mine I went to medical school with, and he was in the military, army or whatever. So it's like he's seen bad things before. He was like, it's just so bleak in the city. There's just so much happens here. And I was like, yeah. And I was like, I don't know, to me, I guess where I grew up, the idea of this was normal. I grew up around people who lost their brothers and their dads from street corners. Like that's just where the environment that I grew up. I grew up where friends, like my sister's friend got shot 20 times on the corner of our street next to our house. That's just what that was the understanding that that was a consequence of living here. That at some point that it would dawn on you a day that someone you knew personally was going to die.
Yeah.
And we were just waiting. My dad's 70 now. My dad used to tell me all the time that he had no plans of making it past 21. Him and his friends had no idea that they would live past
I
the
think you
age
can
of
tell in a lot of
21.
those dudes too. Because like
You can tell with him.
with my dad's in his 40s. I don't know if he ever expected to get to this point. And you could tell he's listless. No. He doesn't know what the fuck to do. Yeah. What do you do in old age when you spent your youth expecting to not be here?
Yeah. And my mom, I think she understands it because she's kind of involved in that lifestyle, but there's a part that misses on her. So she's like, she didn't understand why my dad would be a certain way. And I'm like, my dad me and my dad used to talk every day because he was in the house. And even still, when I talk to him, we talk about the same things now. But it's like, me and my friends had no plans. Me and their uncles, we had no plans making it past 21. Every day is cherries. Every day is ice cream to me. I have no idea. I had no idea what I wanted to do. I had no idea that I would be alive to do anything. And the fact that I've been given the privilege to be at this point in life is a miracle. It's like, I should have been dead. I shouldn't be here right now. Mm-hmm. So, and talking to a person who felt that way, to think like that, and like, I'm going to be a tragedy, because a lot of his friends didn't make it. But to exist in that headspace and to continue on life, you're never going to be normal. You're not going to be the CEO. CEOs aren't people who thought that they were going to be dead at 21 due to gun violence.
And you know what I think fucks up my dad? It's that he kind of does get this feeling, I think, and listen, I don't know that man. I know that man in the same way, you know, I don't know, the couch in your great-grandmother's house, you know?
Oh,
I would argue me and my dad and my mom shared a childhood together. I always say we grew up together, but my dad's kind of the friend you drift apart from once you're out of childhood. And in that way, I do think I connected with him because I think my dad did expect to either die or do great things, and he hasn't done either. And you think about, and then all the people around him who he was close to, who he really cared about, did die. You know, his closest friend, who was basically like a brother to him, got shot. And then his actual brother got shot. And I think I don't know, I think that, and then growing into hitting his 40s soon, I think that's really fucked with his head. To be like, I made it out and I haven't done anything. I made it and there's nothing I've reached. Everybody else around me died. I didn't, and I haven't done anything with that.
Right. It's like my dad's his best friend is gone, and it's like, or like my dad, some of his other friends that didn't die due to gang violence are still alive. They'll die because like he had a guy who would go and visit him. He was always sick. My childhood, he was sick. He had like cancer and like cirrhosis of the liver. He just didn't want to take care of himself. He would like drink and smoke every day. My dad was like, I don't understand why he won't just stop. And one day we were talking and he was like, oh, because he doesn't want to be here. He had already made it up in his mind that he was going to be dead. So being here is kind of like a prison.
Yeah.
And it's like, this is our, he's a man, these are
and
men
that's a
now,
grown man.
Now. These were young black boys when this all started. They didn't start this when they were 30. They've been doing this since they were 50. My dad didn't graduate high school.
Like, mine didn't go to college though.
This is starting young. This is starting young, and we're seeing the beginning of it right now. These people talking about YNs, I'm like, you guys have no idea what you're talking about.
And these also, I just need you to want more for them. I need you because I think that the most horrific part about a lot of this is when you like remember the kids who were with you, who grew up to be these boys, and you know how little they expected of themselves, and you know how little everyone expected of them. And you look back and you go, no, I didn't expect anything from him either. But like, what if someone had? Nobody gives a fuck about them.
An ounce of kindness, maybe he still would be here.
Because, this is a story I don't think I've ever told anyone. I had this dude in my class, and I'm going to call him like Scott. That was not his name.
Okay.
But he was like, we made fun of him. We were like, Scott's dumb. And I'm going to admit that. I was a child. I'm not the pinnacle of moral superiority at every point in my life. I was like, Scott's dumb. Everybody used to joke, Scott's dumb, Scott's dumb. And till one day in 3rd grade, for some fucking reason, we hit like volumes and he just got it. It just fucking clicked for him. And he was passing and he understood it so well. And then the teacher would be like, Scott, can you explain it to someone else? And he would get excited. He would get genuinely excited. He was so happy to explain it to someone else, that he got it, that he could explain it to someone, that he understood it. And whenever I look back on that, I'm like, fuck. Like, did any of you try?
No.
I think about the teacher who saw that and didn't for a second think he could do something. Right. He like, you put something in front of him that he understood, that connected with him, that made him understand, and immediately he paid attention in class. He wanted to help other people. He was nicer. And as soon as that moved on, he was back to how he was, and no one wanted to pause and think, we could do something with this.
It's like, it's insane to watch. And it's like, there are kids in my class that aren't here anymore in jail, and they were good at art, or good at like singing, or like had really cool gymnastic ability. And there wasn't a soul who championed for this person to be in a better spot than they were.
And if there was,
and I were all Black school, mostly Black teachers, and I think my school was pretty good, and we got some pretty good people out of it, but we've lost a lot. That school has lost a lot of students. And it's like, it's like, I have a problem. I was explaining to this this older white partner I have, and I was trying to explain to him like Chicago drill. And he just could not reconcile in his mind that there was an entire genre of music dedicated to people talking about stealing and murdering people.
Which is hilarious.
And I was like, yeah, no, it's crazy. It was like some of my friends are rappers, and some of them aren't here anymore, and he was like, well, how can you reconcile, like, if someone were to make a diss track about a friend of yours who passed away? And I said, well, it sucks for me because it's a friend of mine. It would suck for me because it would be a friend of mine, but if you're in the lifestyle, it's understood that you're going to die at some point. Like, there's not like a promised land you're supposed to get to. Like, eventually you're going to, like, your luck will run out and you'll die. And then he was like, well, what do you think would fix this? And I was like, things to do. Before my nephew was in what he's in right now, because right now he's in like the Chicago Police and Fire Academy. Before he was in that, he was in the Sheriff Academy. Before he was in that, we put him in all basketball stuff, and it helped him kind of, because he was going down a rough path for a while. And it's like, if they don't have things to do, and the only thing to do is to wander around the city with other kids with nothing to do,
niggas will get in trouble.
They're going to join a gang.
Everybody wants to pretend like white kids don't have this issue. You go out to Appalachia. You go out to Arkansas. You go out to fucking Kentucky. Those white kids are also dying and killing each other. When you have nothing to do and you don't see any hope of getting out, why should you care about your future as a child? Why should you? What do you have? What do you, like, legitimately?
Need something to do. They need art centers where these young Black boys who are gifted at art can go draw without ridicule. They need gymnastics. And it all comes back to, we are expendable pawns. We're items to these people. We're not like real. So what happens to us and what we learn and what we take in doesn't matter at all. It's like, I don't know. I mean, we think about our friend who shall remain nameless, and it doesn't confuse me that we think the way we do and that she thinks the way that she does. Because it's very clear that we grew up in two completely different circumstances. And it's always been understood to me that if I were to stay here, I would be trapped here.
No out.
If I were to become content with living on the east side of Chicago, I would never make it out of there. I just would never.
And there's no joy to be found in like a life like that. You talked about your mom, where it's like, yeah, I buy things because it makes me happy. Like, when I get it makes me happy. This is the thing that makes me happy. And what else? Like, you kind of do need an addiction if you're gonna be living like that. You kind of do need something that'll give you that quick hit.
It's like, And then our parents, it's unfortunate, it's a generational thing that some of these people don't know how to raise kids,
Oh no,
and
my parents were kids.
they do
My parents were
irreparable
children.
harm. They do irreparable harm to their children. My dad's dad was very. I love him. My dad. He's my grandfather. He's how I got my nickname. He is a mean, cruel man, and he is the entire reason that my dad is the way that he is. And when people try to act, my mom loves him. She tries to act like it's not the case. No. If my dad had a different dad, he none of this would be happening. But he treated him so poorly, and that he meant that he meant nothing, and that he would die. That's what my dad got from it. And that's how my dad became an addict, and that's how we got to this entire point in time. It becomes at a source, and that source, back on our parents, beyond their parents, is white people. Because it's like at core, the way in which our parents think about things and think about raising children, the way their parents thought about raising children, all, at least on the Black American side, all delineate from slavery.
Mm-hmm. Whooping your
It's like,
children, beating the fuck out of young black children. If your kid is old enough to understand why you're telling them they did something wrong, they're old enough to not like to actually be explaining shit to them. If they're not, you're beating someone who doesn't understand why you're hitting them.
mm-hmm.
Either way, you're out of your mind, broski. And I know because you guys get a visceral sense of joy out of thinking about having a child you can beat. You'll be like, I can't, ooh, my kids can't do this. If I had a kid, ooh, I can't wait until I have a kid and I can. You are dreaming about beating a child that hasn't come out of you yet. You have not come out of this experience as healthy as you believe you have. And you either fix that or you scar another generation of young black kids. You really do.
It's going to keep happening. You're going to teach them that what they do and what they say doesn't matter, and they have no autonomy, and that they are things. They're your things. When you say, "Oh, you're my kid, so I can do whatever I want to," oh, I'm your property. You own me,
and so I can hit you and I can beat you, and it's the exact same lesson that was taught on slave plantations. You're my property, so when you do bad, because you are property, I get to hit you. I get to beat you, and you never want to analyze that.
It's bad. And that's the same lesson white people got. That these people are property, that they're things. And that if they don't listen to you, you can kill it because it's a thing you own. And it's the exact reason that little black boys are dying because they're being accused of shoplifting water bottles. It's the same reason black babies are dying because their moms are being accused of stealing diapers. It's the same reason. It's the same thing.
And you start it. You begin it. You look into your eyes. And there's this, I remember I learned it when I was in like middle school. So it is a little quirky about how the difference between like a lot of even smart, like of equal intelligence children, but when they're like from poorer environments or they're like black children and white, like richer children, it's this idea of like entitlement, that I am entitled to it. That when you walk into a room, these rich white kids, they say, of course I'm supposed to be here. And these black kids, they don't have that in them. They don't think, of course I'm supposed to be in here a lot of the time. Sometimes they think I have to do what I can so that they don't realize I'm not in here. I'm not supposed to be in here. There's not this sense of entitlement. There isn't this idea that I was always owed this. And a lot of the time you kind of do have to let your kid get to a point where they believe that they are owed it. And I think that that's what a lot of like the black community has difficulty with, because for so much of like our history, we were not given it. It was never owed to us. Nothing was ever owed to us. We got nothing. We worked as hard. You work as hard as you can, you get half, you know? Work twice as hard, you get what they get.
And that's the one thing I think my mom and my dad did the best, is that they always said that they always understood that you have to work extra hard to get where you're earning it. They always said you deserve it. You deserve to get out of here. You deserve to not live like how I lived, and you deserve good things. And so if you find yourself in a room getting good things and there are white people there, you should be just as boisterous and as confident in the fact that you have those things as they do. And there should be no delineation in your mind between who you are and who they are. And so one thing that I can always thank them for was that it was never this understanding that I was anything less than a white person. And also in my family, for me, I wasn't treated like, oh, you're white. You're white.
You're so much lighter than the rest of your family. It's like they ran out of printer ink, babe. It's insane.
Not black. The way I had to earn my blackness in this house and my house was near next level. It wasn't no girl. I used to sit up late at night begging God
Oh no.
that I would be dark skinned.
That
So
great
that I could
shift. But like it's interesting because you think about the great shift when dark skins were like finally allowed to be called attractive. That happened in like what was it, 2016, I want to say? Because before that, you were dark, man. There'd be niggas the same color as me in class calling me as dark as the bottom of a pan. I have never experienced the type of colorism ever, the type of personal and long lasting painful colorism like I did in a classroom surrounded by other black people. But you know what? Them light brights got hit 2016. I'm a pineapple light skin, gone. Your whole rate knocked out, your whole race, your whole class.
But I didn't say I was before then. People would look at me and my mom when she had stolen me, and it would make me feel
In
like
their defense, come on
so
now, which is
less.
interesting because I think
It
you have
would,
her whole face. I think you took her
it
whole
made me
face.
feel so less than. I was like, I shouldn't be here. And I was like, something. I used to get so mad at my dad. I was like, why the fuck? Why? I was like,
Why'd you do this to me?
But I'm like, no, but the gray shift was crazy because it was like a long time where being light skinned was tea. And then it went
So
from like a
T,
drop of
God, you were the
like
light
one.
skinned girl in my class. She had to bat the light skinned boy. They both had to bat them niggas off with a stick. The great
It
shift.
was
Oh
rough.
my God, the great shift.
It was, and then it almost on a dime. And you know what?
He grew
I
up to be
I
kind
think
of uggo. You know what? That's crazy. That's a crazy thing to say in middle school. You were hot. I can't think about that. Middle school
hilarious.
me thought he was hot. Adult me thinks adult him
Right,
is mid. Adult me
right,
thinks that
right.
middle school him looks like a baby. Obviously.
No, and that's what also like. I don't know. I grew up. The boys in my class, the cute ones, and you know what? It was also to me. It was one of those things I kept secret. The dark skinned dudes, Michael's was like, no, he's hot. But that was not the consistency of me. That was not the consistency in the class. It's like, oh yeah. You know the ones that are okay.
Once you got to high school, though, we were old enough. It was past. It was starting to
Oh, it
pass.
was, and it was so great. It was like almost everybody was on the playing field. But
Yeah,
for
almost all of
me,
us.
we've spoken about this many a times. There's no way for two light skinned people to date and them not look like siblings.
You are proud, and I think that I think that it can happen, but light skins do often look like siblings.
Yeah, I
It's
don't
not
know
your
why.
fault. I think you know how they say that it's easier for you to tell the difference between faces of people who are the same race as you. I think your skin gets so light at times that you go beige and it becomes white people. I can't tell. I'm bad at telling white people apart. I'm really bad at it.
Please don't say that to me. That's destroyed
Taylor,
my
Leah,
life. Here's the
you're
thing.
quite literally beige.
Here's Please leave me.
You've been in the
Here's
sun is the crazy bit.
here's the, not as much as I need. The UV hasn't been right.
Winter you is a
The
different conversation though. That's crazy. That
I
is the
can't get
craziest
it.
shit
I'm
I've seen.
not gonna think about her because she's not real right now. Here's what I'll say. Here's what I'll say. I've tried. I just don't think it looks right. I don't go unless the light skin is on the verge. It's one of those light skins that like
Mocha,
if
a
they went to, like
chai latte, light bright.
if they went to like Ghana for a day and came back, they'd be brown skin. Like if there's if it's one of those light skins, it can work. But if you're two high yellows, it's not feasible. And if you're the same undertone, it's not gonna work.
No.
You're both red. You're siblings. One of them has to be red and the other one has to be yellow.
It
Otherwise,
freaks
you're
me out
siblings.
a little bit. It freaks me. I don't like how we feminize light skinned men. I don't think that they're bad bitches. I think
Oh,
that it's really weird because we
I don't
also
think
highly
they're
masculinize dark skinned women, and it's like,
for
I won't
me.
let you do that. I
I
won't let you
won't do
play in
that.
my face like I can't see the symbols. You know, everybody wants to act like I'm crazy, but I see what you be doing. Y'all move weird. I'm just pointing it out, and I'm the bad guy. No.
And I'm crazy. Here's for me too. Me and Nas were just talking about this, but it's like, for at least to me, most light skinned dudes aren't sexy. They're not being portrayed as sexy. They're being portrayed as pretty. They're pretty. They're nice to look at. And dark skinned dudes are sexy and elusive.
Which is crazy because think about your first childhood crush. Who do you think it was?
Ooh,
Bow Wow.
like TV or that?
Bow Wow.
Now you really talk. Bow Wow.
Bow Wow.
But if we're getting into like real television, for me, this is gonna really show some cracks.
What are you about to say, girl? What are you about to say?
Leo from like Lab Rats. For some reason, when I was a kid, I was really into comedic relief. If you were the nerd or the comedic relief in a show, that's really all you had.
That's so interesting to me. That is so interesting to me.
That's really all you had. That's really all I had to care about.
You know what's crazy? I'm gonna say this, and I don't know why, but I never think I ever had a crush on like a child actor. Boo Boo, from Descendants. Never mind.
Now that's a good answer. I was also into what's his name from Kicking It?
The little white boy with the long hair? Ooh.
Is he white?
Ooh.
Or is he I think he might be white. The main guy.
Yeah, that was a white boy.
Yeah.
That was white. Yeah. White with an H.
White.
He's white.
Right, but I thought his aura was cool.
That's fair. I thought his aura was cool. It's so funny.
For me, you had to like gain being a crush. You couldn't just be like cute. You had to be like cool.
Most of my crushes were animated, so like Gwen from Total Drama Island, which is not that unique,
I had a crush
very
on,
basic.
Like a real life. No, that's real. My first like real life crush that I had, he was light skinned.
It's your soulmate. I've told you this. You're gonna fall in love with the light skin. You're gonna have little incest babies. It's gonna be beautiful.
I'm praying to God that this is just not the life that I live.
You can keep praying, baby, but you're an atheist.
I know.
There's nothing there for you. He won't answer you.
And what I hate is that I've been exclusively dating and talking to dark skins for the last like 3 years of my life, and it has been.
It's not happening. It's not happening. It's not happening. I'm terrified that I'm gonna accidentally fall in love, and it's gonna be with someone who will get me humiliated. I like nerds, which allows itself to some very interesting people.
I don't think you're going to fall in love with a white man, but simply because I don't think that you're going to be able to tolerate talking to a white man for long enough. That's why
I told you I was in the first room I've ever been in where there were no other black people, and it made me so viscerally uncomfortable. LaGrange is a sundown town. I'm looking at the camera. LaGrange, Illinois is a sundown town. There are no black people there who aren't working. And the only other black person was working behind the kitchen at a restaurant or delivering stuff to another restaurant. There are no black people. They had a place called Sundown Meadows. They hanged people there, Leah. They hung people.
I forgot. Oh yeah. Well, this has been the Untitled Podcast.
The Untitled Podcast. We have just been saying our names. I think eventually we're gonna have to accept that.
Yeah.
I like this because it does look like a gang sign, but I'm here for peace and love.
Let's hope that they believe that.
Do I look like I'm in a gang? Look at me.
We know it's not a word. Don't comment. We know it's not a word.
That's why we did it. We did it to upset you.
Yeah, we did it really to anger our audience.
Because we hate you already.
And you know what's funny? Nobody has seen this yet, and no one has seen our last one yet. So you're all kind of hypothetical, which I think is fun. Apparently, my brother also did an episode of a podcast. He's doing.
What? We got to do a crossover with your brother's podcast.
Oh no, he's doing like Bible. Girl, I don't know how to podcast.
Oh baby, we can't do that. Oh baby, we can't do that.
Can't do.
Okay, bye. Wait, bye.